Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Smackdown review. And this is a review of last night's edition of Smackdown, the July 30th edition. And last night's Smackdown was from the FedEx Forum, Memphis, Tennessee. And I say, last night's Smackdown, I thought it was an okay show. Wasn't great or perfect by any means, but it was just okay. I mean, we had the King's Court with Jerry Lawler, because Jerry Lawler has to be there because it's in his hometown of Memphis. We had Trish Stratus, WWE Hall of Famer. Trish Stratus appeared, which it was good to see her. She still looks great. And we also had in the main event, champion versus champion. Kofi Kingston versus AJ Styles. And originally that main event was changed because it went from a tag team and then it went to a 6-man tag, and then they just made them go one-on-one, Kofi and Styles. And when the show was already written. Then Vince McMahon, of course, typical Vince McMahon, comes in and he wants the whole script rewritten hours before SmackDown went on the air. Typical Vince McMahon, people. So let's get started with the SmackDown review. So SmackDown opened up last night with a video. It was captured from a cell phone, and it was from everybody's favorite. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. This video was from Shane McMahon. Shane wasn't going to be on the show, and the reason why he wasn't going to appear on the show tonight is because of Kevin Owens. He's not at the show because it's entirely Kevin Owens' fault. And he says, Kevin Owens gets what he wants, a match at SummerSlam. And Shane says he's going to end Kevin Owens' career at SummerSlam. So it was just showcasing why, Shane wasn't on SmackDown last night. And then we went to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens came out. He said Shane isn't on the show, and what's funny was he was mocking in a emotional tune, which was funny, or emotional tone, and he was saying, "Oh, we're all gonna get through it. We're all gonna get through it together. We're gonna stay strong. We're gonna make it through the night." And he says he wants to reassure Shane that, him not being here is great news, because, SmackDown can be about what it should be about. And Kevin Owens says, it should be about the talent and not about him, not about Shane. He says Shane may be at peace with whatever crap his life coach is feeding him, but Kevin Owens ends up saying he's not going to quit at SummerSlam. Owens says he's going to beat Shane so bad that every time he looks in the mirror, he'll know he doesn't belong in this ring with people like Kevin Owens. He says nobody can stop Shane from showing up, but Kevin Owens says he can make sure that every time he does, he'll know that this isn't his ring or his show. And he says, this is the Kevin Owens show. So out came Drew McIntyre. McIntyre came out, he got on the mic. He ends up telling Kevin Owens that he talks too much. And he informs Owens that they have a match against each other. And then we see McIntyre ends up hitting Owens with the mic. McIntyre drags Owens out of the ring. and he throws Owens into the post and over the announce table. So it's a beatdown from McIntyre to Owens. McIntyre gets back on the mic and he tells Owens to dust himself off because their match was happening, which was after this segment. But pretty decent segment from Kevin Owens. Even though I was laughing when he was having that emotional tone, mocking in that emotional tone, which like I said, I found funny. Then we had the match, Kevin Owens versus Drew McIntyre, which was a decent match. It was back and forth between the both of them. When it was commercials playing over like a middle portion of the match. Like how SmackDown has that 2-screen when it goes to commercial. Like it has the commercial on the right hand side. It still has the match going on the left side. But all in all, the match ended where it was really cool that it was outside on the floor. Kevin Owens ends up delivering the stunner to Drew McIntyre on the announce table, and Kevin Owens ends up putting McIntyre back in the ring. Kevin Owens then goes and lays another stunner on McIntyre. That's where Kevin Owens ends up pinning McIntyre. So Kevin Owens ends up winning the match. But all in all, it was a decent match. Then we had Kayla Braxton. She was interviewing Dolph Ziggler. Dolph says if you've got a problem with what he's doing, he's got 2 words for you. Too bad. Of course, mocking, DX. And he ends up talking about Mick Foley getting decimated by The Fiend, which happened at Raw Reunion last week. And he also mentions Goldberg's last match. And he says, Shawn Michaels made the biggest mistake of his life putting hands on him. He ends up going on to say that at SummerSlam, he's going one-on-one with The Miz. And he says he then claims to be the best thing going today. So that was the little interview with Dolph Ziggler. So, I'm not, are you all looking forward to seeing Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz at SummerSlam? Me, I'm not. I don't give a shit. So, there you go. Then we went into the locker room. We saw Ember Moon. She was stretching. Bayley ends up coming up to her, remind her that she wouldn't be challenging her at SummerSlam if she hadn't chose her as her opponent. And she ends up saying that tonight they'll team together and get through it. And Bayley says if Amber ever thinks about eclipsing her again, like what we saw last week, Amber is going to regret it. So you could tell that, well, I'll get to that. I'll get to explain that in a little bit. But that's what we basically got for this, backstage segment with them. And then Alistair Black. He's back in the dark room. Why? I ask why. Why put Alistair Black, in the dark room again? For him to come out of the damn closets. So Alistair Black talks about, cuts a promo, talks about the blood of his soul and how his salvation, lies within strife, and that he's stuck in purgatory, and he's just waiting for somebody again to knock on his door. Why are we going back to this? I X'd up WWE. I don't know why they're doing this again with Alistair Black. So what is it? Every time Alistair is waiting for somebody to knock on his door, he's going to have a match. And then when that's over, he's going to go back into the dark room once again for another opponent to knock on his door. Come on. Keep doing this. Everybody's going to say, oh, when is Alistair getting back in the ring? Get him back in the ring. That's what it's basically going to lead to if they keep doing this. Like, we haven't seen enough of it already. For like 2-3 months, we've seen Alistair in that dark room. Just cutting promo after promo after promo. Then we saw Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Bayley and Ember Moon. Okay, so sorry about that, but I was saying next match was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Bayley and Ember Moon. Women's tag team match. And the match itself, it was pretty meh, in my opinion. You have you have Bayley and Ember Moon teaming together when, they're supposed to be, fighting each other at SummerSlam. And you could tell that the match itself was thrown in or made at the last minute because of the rewrite the show had to have. So they made Ember Moon take the fall. Alexa Bliss ended up hitting the Twisted Bliss on Ember. So Alexa and Nikki end up winning the match. And I could tell you, there was an article that I read early this morning. There was a report saying that Vince McMahon doesn't officially like Ember Moon. And I could tell that's the reason why Ember took that fall. It was done on purpose because of that article. And it's pretty clear by that article that Vince is a racist. And the only reason why Ember Moon is being thrown into this is because WWE has no plans for Ember. This is the same reason why Asuka is not being pushed. Same reason why Kairi Sane is not being pushed. It's the reason why, they're not on TV. Even Naomi. This is the reason why. You could tell. So Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross end up winning. Post-match, Bayley ended up delivering a Bayley to belly on Ember. Bayley's revenge after Ember hit the Eclipse last week on her. Also, if you remember, Ember ended up delivering the Eclipse to Charlotte last week. But overall, very meh match. Then we had Sarah Schreiber. She was interviewing Sami Zayn. Sami says he's just doing what any good competitor would do and scoping out the competition. He says all he sees is a bunch of people feeling sorry for themselves. And he starts talking about Alistair Black. He starts running Alistair Black down for sitting in a dark room and begging for a fight. But he sees a man begging for help. And he says in the shadows, he knows if he stepped into the light, the whole illusion would come crumbling down. So that was a little interview with Sami Zayn. It was a decent interview with Sami Zayn. Oh, and I want to go back to something with the Ember Moon thing. With Ember Moon taking the fall, how many of you think that she's going to be walking out the SmackDown Women's Champion at SummerSlam? Just from that, it's not happening. Bayley is going to retain the title at SummerSlam. So after that whole fall that Amber took last night, nobody's going to believe that Amber is going to win it on Sunday in 2 weeks at SummerSlam. So then we had Kayla Braxton. She was interviewing Daniel Bryan about Daniel Bryan's big announcement, which, fortunately, again, it was all clickbait. It was all, tricks. And Daniel Bryan is just quiet, doesn't make his big announcement, and he walks off. So there you go. Then we went to the King's Court. Jerry the King Lawler. He was in the ring. And he introduces his guest, who was WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. And Trish ended up coming out. Still looks great. And Trish ends up talking about how great it is to come back and hang with, your colleagues and be with the WWE Universe. And so then Lawler asks Trish about the idea of having one last match. Trish ends up saying, WWE, that, we all know, she knows that WWE is in her blood, in her heart, and in her soul. She says she doesn't think there'll ever be a time without that itch. But she's kind of a mom now, and she has to take care of, and she ends up getting interrupted by none other than the Queen, Charlotte. So Charlotte ends up coming out, and Charlotte ends up mocking all the reminiscing that Trish has been, reminiscent about. And she says she gets it. Trish is a mom, which she ends up congratulating her on. Charlotte then makes Jerry Lawler hold the ropes open for her. And Charlotte says lots of WWE superstars are parents. And, she's like, oh, I have a mom. You have a mom. The King has a mom. Everyone in the arena has a mom. And I'm like, this is such shitty writing here. Of course everyone has a mom. What kind of writing is this? So, when Charlotte didn't get a response, she says she expected more. But since WWE has evolved and they're not models shaking their asses anymore, and she knows what it is, she says Trish doesn't think she can hang with the Queen. So Charlotte ends up ordering Trish out of the ring into her minivan and back to changing diapers. And Trish ends up getting out a response, finally. Trish says she respects Charlotte, but right now, Charlotte is just being a bitch. So Trish ends up reminding Charlotte that there'd be no trail to Blaze without her and Lita and Jacqueline and Ivory and also Beth Phoenix. All of them great in-ring superstars from back in the day. And of course, I grew up watching Lita and Trish. I really loved the feud that they had, the rivalry that they had when I was a kid. Very interesting between the both of them. Beth Phoenix also very entertaining in the ring. One of the best, in my opinion. She's another Hall of Famer. And Charlotte, she says Charlotte should know better than anyone that to be the woman. You have to beat the woman. So Trish ends up accepting the match. So now it's going to be Charlotte versus Trish at SummerSlam. And The only reason why they did this is because SummerSlam is in Trish's home country of Canada. That's the reason why. So I'm actually looking forward to the match between Charlotte and Trish. I think it's going to be a decent match, hopefully. So that was how the other segment ended, but it was cool. It was cool seeing Trish come back. Charlotte, the whole ride in between. Oh, I have a mom. You have a mom. He has a mom. What shitty writing is that? It was awful. Awful writing for Charlotte. Then we had the OC, Styles, Gallows, Anderson backstage. They were talking themselves up that they're all champions now. And AJ Styles says, Kofi is about to find out why SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built. So we had that. So that was the main event, Kofi and Styles, champion versus champion. And then we went to the Firefly Funhouse. So it opens with Ramblin' Rabbit, opening the Firefly Funhouse. Ramblin' Rabbit was talking about how excited he is for SummerSlam and how Finn Balor made a mistake because the Fiend is unleashed. So then we get Bray Wyatt coming up. Ramblin' Rabbit runs off. Bray Wyatt, looks at the camera and he has, that laugh. He ends up laughing at the camera. He has that maniac laugh. So he's laughing. Then he gets serious before telling us to let him in. So pretty cool seeing Bray Wyatt. Then we went to Dolph Ziggler versus Finn Balor, which I didn't give a shit about. Dolph Ziggler ended up getting the win because the lights end up going off and, the arena goes dark. Then we see the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend with the mask. So we see him. The lights, once again, are dim. Lights come back on. The Fiend wasn't there. So Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, was playing mind games with Balor. Balor was, standing there, was seeing if the Fiend was there or Bray Wyatt was there. Balor turns around. Dolph ends up super kicking Balor. Balor gets laid out. Dolph goes for the pin. There you go. Dolph ends up winning the match with thanks to the Fiend. So all in all, didn't care for the match. Did not give a shit. Although I did like when the Fiend Bray Wyatt was made that little appearance there. Then we have Mustafa Ali versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This was a rematch from Smackville, which I forgot to say, Smackville, I watched it. It was meh. It was just a glorified house show. So we had this rematch from Smackville. Mustafa Ali versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which this match only went 2 minutes. Mustafa Ali ended up getting the win. Folding back press on Nakamura. So Mustafa Ali wins it. But, it was, okay. Then after that, we had a good video package with Randy Orton. Where, he talks about how all he had to do was be himself. And he puts, Kofi over and, he tries to get, tries to get Kofi over. And it shows Randy Orton, RKOing Kofi. And he just says, Kofi sucks. It was something like that. But it was a very good video package done for Randy Orton. Then we had the New Day. They were being interviewed, and they talked about AJ Styles Kofi match. You had Xavier go, "Oh, happy Golden Girls Day," which was funny. And Xavier also suggested that Styles should be thrown out of a window. You mentioned that at one point. So then we went to the main event. Kofi Kingston versus AJ Styles, which was a really good match between the both of them. Of course, you had Big E and Xavier, Gallows and Anderson on the outside. And this was originally supposed to be it was supposed to be a tag team match, I guess, between the New Day and the OC. And then it went to it was supposed to also be a 6-man tag, but then that got changed. And then they just had Kofi and Styles just go one-on-one together. And WWE even advertised it before they canceled that match. And then they just had Kofi and Styles go at it, just one-on-one. So it was a good match between Kofi and Styles. It was back and forth between them. And towards the end of the match, Styles ended up going for the phenomenal forearm, but Kofi ended up countering that, hitting the Trouble in Paradise to Styles. Then Kofi ended up pinning Styles. Kofi ended up winning the match. Overall, good match between the both of them. It was a good main event. Then we went to Roman Reigns. He was walking backstage. I guess Caleb Braxton was going to interview Roman about who his SummerSlam opponent is going to be. And while Roman is walking, a scaffold was tipped over on Roman. And we had Caleb Braxton screaming backstage. And medics and the agents swarmed over there. They ended up pulling Roman out from under the scaffold. Roman looked like he was dazed, but Roman was able to get back up. He was able to stand up, and he ended up walking off. And that's pretty much how SmackDown ended. So now we gotta get this storyline on who did this to Roman? Who attacked Roman? I felt like it was a whole Scooby-Doo situation here back with this. Let's get the mystery machine here. Let's get Shaggy. Let's get Velma, Daphne. Let's get those guys here. Let's solve this mystery on who attacked Roman. That's what I felt like, after I watched this. So now we're going to get a whole storyline on who attacked Roman. So anyways, that's it for the SmackDown review. Like I said, SmackDown was an okay show. Thank you all for watching, and hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until next video, I'll see you all later.